was fun. That was awesome to watch, man. It was so fun. Our family had so much fun just tuning in, and what a what a cool moment for this city and just to be a professional athlete right now in Cleveland and kind of the momentum and the belief that something like that does for a city and just for everybody individually. So that was really cool. It was fun to watch.
Hey, RG3 was joking that only one quarterback runs a 4.3. Could you take him in a marathon?
How far is a marathon? We run the half or we're in the full.
How about a half?
That dude's in shape now, so I don't know. I don't even like to drive that far. So, yeah, I don't know. Only one runs a 4.3, and it's not me. I know that.
Hey, Josh, yesterday Hugh said he's not going to waste any time in naming a starter here. It's going to be before the first exhibition game. Is that a good thing?
I think so. I think it gives us a sense of direction and the way he's headed, and then the team and everyone can get behind that guy and then move forward. So I think we're all in support of that. I just think sometimes if it drags out or if it lingers, it can be a distraction or it can start to be. But when you kind of name a guy and you move forward, everybody gets behind that guy, and so I trust his leadership on that. I'm in agreement with that. So it is what's best for our team, And so he'll make the wise decision, and we'll move forward.
I know we keep asking you this, but have they given you any indication whatsoever that if you're here this long at the start of training camp, are they going to keep you around this season?
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's obviously this is the time of year where, across 32 teams, all of us are coming to camp to make a ball team, and so that's my mindset, and I'll do everything I can to help this team and to be ready and to make this ball team, and so that's how you have to play it, and really and truly, I think. When you want to be a good player, that's the way you approach it anyway. Is what do I need to do today to solidify my job, to keep my job, and to keep playing at the level that I expect to play at. So that's my mindset going into camp. To have that kind of focus, and then to also be able to help share with these young guys and help get them ready. So that'll be my approach.
Josh, you say.
In naming the quarterback before the games are even competing? Where's the competition if you're not hitting in a game? And is there a risk of sending a mixed message to the rest of the team about competition?
It can be, but remember we did have spring. I know it's not a game, certainly, but we had spring, and we're going to have these practices right now, and so I understand. I mean, it's really kind of the side of the fence you fall on, how you want to look at it. But I've just, from my experience and just going through quarterback competitions and stuff like that, I believe it's the earlier the better. I think it helps, and so I'm thankful that that coach is going to take that approach. But I certainly see your point, but I think we trust coach's decision. We trust our preparation, and the guy that gets named, his ability to get ready to go. It's going to be the right decision, and we're going to move forward and get behind that.
Josh, does that expedite your process, though, knowing that in 2 weeks he is going to name the starting quarterback?
My approach is the same. I mean, it's it doesn't. I can't make the day go any faster, or I can't. The reps are going to be the reps, whether he names it in 2 weeks or whether he would name it in 6 weeks. So it doesn't change my approach and all the things I said earlier. As a player, you have to wake up and trust your process and go through your day. And it's really how I try to live my life, because tomorrow's not promised, so you don't know. And if you just go do that, then at night you lay down and go to bed and have a good night's rest because you did everything you could control. The other things, whether you're on a team or not on a team, all those things, that's in our business and a lot of things in life is outside of your control. That's a variable that I can't control. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time worrying about that. I'm just going to focus on those things, my process and what I do to get myself ready, and then also to help these young guys, and that'll be my focus. And like I said, 2 weeks we'll know something, we'll get behind that and move forward.
Josh, can you talk about Josh Gordon being reinstated? What do you know of him as a player? Have you gotten to talk to him in the past couple of days, and just your whole thought on him coming back?
So far, it's been great to be around him, and I think I just applaud the league for letting him back in, and and making that decision, because you look at guys going through those things, and I just believe that the structure can only benefit those guys. And so to have him here, I believe gives him the best chance to put his best foot forward, and we'll just all rally around him as teammates, and be available to help him do that. And he's been great in the meetings. He's been great, in everything he's allowed to do. He's right there, and he's one of us, and we're glad to have him here. And like everything, it's a day at a time. But we're certainly glad he's here.
What do you recall of him, just as a player, and what are your thoughts on him?
So I only saw him from afar, and then I played with some guys, Jason Campbell and different guys that I know that played with him, and just talk about how talented he is. And I think from afar you see what he does on tape, and you see how fast he is, and you think that's a smaller guy doing those things because he's so fast. And then we got a chance to. I met him last offseason somewhere, and I remember meeting him, going, "Wait a minute, this guy's way too big to be doing what he was doing on tape," And so when you see that and you put those two things together, you realize he's a special player. He's a special talent, and so he's been given some amazing gifts, and all of us just want to come alongside him and help him realize those gifts, and be with him to get the most out of him for himself, and then to help our team. So we're glad he's here. I'm glad he's around.
Josh, it's very easy to lump him with Johnny Manziel, especially since they're friends. How are they different people? Why would he be a different sort of distraction or a different?
Well, I wouldn't call him a distraction, first of all, and then second of all, they're different just because they're different. And I've spent obviously a lot more time around Johnny than I spent around Josh, but they're different just because they're different. I mean, I have 4 kids, and they're all 4 different. Even though they came from me, they're all 4 different. So these are 2 different human beings, and they're going to make their own choices, and they certainly have every right to be friends with whoever they want to be friends with. But right now, all I can comment on is what I've seen from Josh since he's been here these last 48 hours, and he's focused, and he's involved, and he's ready to roll. And so that's who we're concerned with, because he's in our building and on our team. So we like I said, we're going to come alongside him and do everything we can to help him be the best he can be.
Robert talks a lot about sharing a room with you the last 4 months that you've worked with him, 5 months that you've worked with him. How has he changed? How has he grown?
Well, it's hard to comment on how he's grown because I wasn't with him in Washington, but just watching him through the off season, I think anytime you come into a new situation, it's his first time changing teams. You're kind of feeling it out, and how these guys are going to treat me, and what's this going to be about. And I think we wanted to just establish early on is just like, we're trying to make the quarterback group, the quarterback room better for this team. And so, yes, we're going to compete, but we're all going to have the same information, and we're all going to go out and we're going to share information. We're going to do everything we can to help one another in the meeting rooms and in the walkthroughs and whatnot, because ultimately when the lights come on and you compete, it's up to you to do that, to get that done. And so there's no reason to withhold information, because that just hurts our football team. And I think we were on in one accord about that early on, and it's just been great. It makes it fun to come to work, because you're about studying the game of football and the process and learning, and Pep Hamilton and Coach Jackson do an unbelievable job of providing an environment to do that. And so when you have that, it's fun as quarterbacks to come, and you don't want any bitterness or any, I hope he gets that answer wrong in the meeting. Like, why would you sit there and do that? It's not a way to live, man. So we've enjoyed our meetings immensely. It's been really fun, and look forward to continuing that.
Hey Josh, back to the competition. What if Hugh and Pep told you about how reps are going to be split, and do you enter these next 2 weeks thinking you have a legitimate shot to win the starting job?
Yeah, I mean, the reps will go how they go. We'll see today, and then I'm gonna every rep that I get, I'm gonna play as if I'm the starter. That's the thing, really and truly, is in competition for us, and as long as I've been around, the guys who stay in the league and are around, they play that way. They play as if they're the starter, even when they're not. And if they're the starter, they play as if somebody's trying to take their job. They compete. You never really walk to the line of scrimmage and go, yeah, I'm probably not going to be the starter, so I'll throw an incompletion this time. You know what I mean? Your mindset is always, man, I'm going to play as best I can on this rep. And so that's my mindset on this rep. And if it's 1 rep, that'll be my mindset for 1 rep. If it's 10, it'll be my mindset for 10. So that's how I'll go about it. And again, because I have to be at my best because we're competing, and ultimately that's going to draw the best out of Robert and Austin and Cody and vice versa for them to me. So that's the idea. That's the environment that Coach Jackson has provided for us, is a competitive environment, and we'll go about it that way. And then hopefully that leads us to, the best quarterback room we can have.
Did you work out with Pryor during the break?
Yeah, he stopped by Charlotte, and he went down and we worked out. Randy Moss has a little receiving academy that he does down there and has some guys out. And we got out there and threw. Randy works those guys really, really hard. He does a great job helping those guys. And Terrell came down there and worked his tail off, and we got some good throws in. It was good work.
I mean, just from last year to this year, has it been light years for him?
Yes, I think so. And anytime somebody's making that kind of switch, I think all you want to see is just improvement. And that's, I think, the thing I can say the most about Terrell is he's improved and he keeps improving and he's turning over every rock to make sure he can find a way to get himself better, and it's a hats off and a credit to him because he wants it. Some guys I've been around in the past that make that kind of transition, they're kind of reluctant, and their reluctance kind of leaks through in everything that they do. It's not the case with TP. TP is all in about doing it, and he works hard to become a good receiver. And Coach Al and Bob and those guys are coaching their tails off trying to help him, and he's taking it all in. And like I said, he's doing everything that he could do in the off season to get himself better. So I look forward for him having a good camp because I just appreciate how he's attacked it.
Josh, you didn't go to work out with Tom House at all this offseason.
I didn't.
Great to do that.
Josh, outside of Hawk and maybe to a lesser degree Gordon, this is a pretty young wide receiver core. Can you just touch on the challenge of trying to compete for a quarterback job while also trying to bring up around a really young group?
Yeah, it is. There's certainly a challenge, but I think it's something that we embrace because it keeps our mind on football. When you're having to grab a guy and talk to him about this and talk to him, it keeps your mind on football. And when your mind's on football, you're getting better. And so it certainly is a challenge. These guys are young, but I've said it before about Coach Saunders, and he's just an unbelievable receivers coach. And he has those guys prepared, and Hawk does a great job of having a veteran presence in that room, and so does Marlon Moore. So we'll do what we can to help those guys. And like I said, we'll embrace the chances to help those guys because it's ultimately helping us be better because we're talking about ball, we're talking about our offense, and this is a new offense that we're learning. So I just believe anytime you're teaching something, you're taking a step towards mastery of something because you're giving it away and you're teaching it. And so if we have to do that with the receivers, it just helps us internalize and learn the offense even better. So it's a challenge, but it's one that we embrace.